Alright, so welcome back to Dell of Merchants 3. So for this video here, we're going to be discussing how the sharing short-beaked echidnas work. Now, this set and the last set, which we have not gone over yet, I liked about the same. They're all both still really good, but they're about the same. The only reason why I picked these guys over the last set as I like them more than the other set is because this one is kind of more of a interaction based set, obviously. And what I mean by interaction is it is definitely sort of an aggressive set. Not the most aggressive set out there. I definitely know some animals out there that are way more aggressive than these guys. But still, in terms of friendliness, these guys are still sort of a mild aggression level for sure. So let's talk about how these guys work here. Okay, so first we have the merchant themselves, the carefree swappers. So this is a technique with the plus action on it. So you get an extra action afterwards. Swap this card with the top card from another player's discard pile. Place the new card into your hand. Well, that's interesting. You get to swap this card out with the top card from another player's discard pile with this card. So they're getting this, and you're getting whatever's in their discard pile that's on top. So that's cool, and you get to put it into your hand as well. But of course, because you're giving them this card, that means that they will be able to do the same to you, and if they still have this other one, they're going to get to do it to you twice, because they're going to have this one probably, and this one still, probably. And so, they might do it to you more often, because now they get to do it to you twice. So, still, that's not the most aggressive card there is, but still, that's pretty cool, especially if it's a card they just bought, and you want it, and you have this in your hand, you can just swap it out with theirs. That's a really awesome card, to say the least. Okay, so the next one here is Bargain Seeker. It's a passive ability. You may throw away the rightmost card from the market once in your turn. If you do so, fill the market by drawing cards from the market deck. So maybe there's a card you want, but it's too expensive. And so you throw away the rightmost card from the market deck, probably because that's not the one you're wanting anyways. And then everything is going to slide down here, and that means the card that may have been up here somewhere is going to be slightly cheaper because it's been moved down one. So that could be very useful. That's definitely an interesting passive ability, and obviously this isn't an attack card either, because you're not affecting somebody else. So that's still a pretty cool card nonetheless. Alright, here we have Delicacy. This has got another plus action on it. So with this technique, you draw 2 cards from another player's deck. You may swap this card with one of them, placing the new card into your hand, and then that player shuffles the 2 cards into their deck. So here, opponent so-and-so, give me 2 of your cards, and I'll give you this wonderful little Delicacy. And take one of your cards from you. Thank you so much. But here, I gave you a Delicacy, right? I like that a lot. A Delicacy, which just happens to be an echidna's delicacy, not necessarily a green magpie's delicacy or a tree kangaroo's delicacy or something like that, but still, nonetheless, that's really funny. I like that. That's a really cool card. I like that one a lot. So that's Delicacy, and that's how it works. Awesome card. Umbrella. So this one has another plus action on it. Look at 2 random cards from another player's hand. You may swap this card with one of them, placing the new card into your hand. So it lets you look at 2 random cards from your opponent's hand, from another player's hand. Then you may swap this umbrella with one of them. So hey, at least you're giving your friend an umbrella. Maybe it happens to be raining that day, and so this umbrella could be useful to them. And you're taking one of their cards in exchange. It's a fair trade, right? Well, it is, because technically they can do the same thing back to you because you're swapping it with them. So hey, now they're going to have this card in their hand, and hey, they're going to want their card back. So maybe they'll hand back the umbrella to you and get your card back. Who knows? But you don't know. You're going to probably mix up your hands, so it's harder for them to find the one that you took. Still, I like that umbrella a lot too, and that's how that one works. Okay. So here we have a velocipede, sort of like a bike. It's got a technique with a plus action on it. You'll swap this card with any card from any player's stall and place the new card into your hand. Well, this is interesting. So your opponent might have some cards in their stall. They might have their second and their third and their fourth stall set up or something like that, or fifth or whatever. And so then you can swap this card with one of their cards in their stall, putting it in, swapping it out. So they'll get this into their stall, and you get to take the other card that you want from their stall. So that's really cool. I like that as well. That's definitely an aggressive card too, obviously, but it doesn't really affect them too much because they already formed the stall, and so once they form the stall, it stays like that, and so technically they're not really losing anything at all. You're just taking advantage of a card that they put in there, which they can't use anyways, and it doesn't affect them whatsoever, really. So as far as aggressiveness goes, this one is not that aggressive at all. But that doesn't necessarily mean your opponent will still appreciate what you just did, nonetheless. Okay. And then the last one here is matching colors. And this has got another plus action on it for technique. Swap an animal folk card from your hand with a card of equal value from an opponent's stall. Well, that's interesting. So it's basically similar to the last one, but this one allows you to do it with any card from any player's stall. This one has to be an animal folk card that you're swapping out with, and you have to swap out the same exact number as well. So that this one definitely is a little bit more harder to pull off necessarily, because maybe you don't have the cards you want to swap out with somebody else. Who knows? Because of a particular number. But still, it's basically just like this one. And so this one just makes it a little bit more difficult. This one is more accurate. This one is just whatever. I just swap whatever I want with this. But that's the difference, though. This one, you're swapping out another animal folk card, so you'll still get to use this for its ability later if you want to use this again. This one, you're swapping this out for another card. So this is a one-time use, while this one, you're going to use a whole lot more, which is why this one is more accurate of what you're allowed to do, and this one is just like, oh, I get to do whatever I want with this. So that's the big difference between the two, obviously. But that is how these guys work. That is how the carefree sharing short-beaked echidnas work. And so we just have one more animal merchant left, and let's talk about them in the next video.